My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Aethermancer. So we have our difficulty selection here, which now goes up to mythic. In heroic, regular enemies had 20% high health and bosses had 50% high health. In this, mythic, 30% high health for regular enemies, 70% high health for bosses. Also, enemies deal an additional damage in the second biome, 2 additional damage in the third biome. Regular enemies have an additional poise, bosses have 2 additional poise, and bosses have an additional trait. Worthiness gain up 40%. Absolutely. Of course we're doing that. So we'll start with either Warden, Ooze, or Mandragora here. I kind of want to start with Warden, I think. Yeah. Start with you as our starter, and you can absolutely have a nickname. Yours will be Disneymeer. Let's go. So some sort of purging strategy. Having a look at Warden, the signature trait is Power Nexus. For every 5 ether purged, stolen, or weakness applied by the party, applies power to self. Which is pretty important for your Stone Punch because you do 4 individual hits of 2 earth damage. So any point is 4 additional damage for that attack. You've also got Echo, 2x3 wind attack against an enemy, and Purge and Ether. Cool. Oh, also your tribes, Earth and Wind, and you are a tank weakness purge character. So especially because your ability triggers off of weakness application as well as purging done, it really feels like you should probably have one teammate that has the purge keyword, which is useful to say because both Reggie and Coldheart are here, both with the purge keyword on them. There's also Nosferatu though. Nosferatu with Vampirism gives heal to the party by giving terror to enemies, and then if you attack an enemy that has terror, you heal 33% of the attack damage. While I really do want to get Nosferatu in the party, I do think that Purge is a really good keyword for me right now. Just given that we had Coldheart in both of the previous runs, I think I'll take Reggie. Immediately get some equipment from Sir Tiberian. The history of the Fractured Ruins, just like every true monsterkin, has always been my dream to come here. What? The history of the Fractured Ruins. There we go, that's what he's doing. Just like every true monsterkin, it's always been my dream to be here. To walk the pilgrimage path, pass through the ancient gates, see the beauty of the city itself. You know, I believe the monster deities are still here. They only show themselves to the most courageous and worthy of monsterkin. That's what they said in the stories my mother read to me. Sadly, most of the monsterkin I met in Pilgrim's Rest don't believe me, but I don't care. I will keep venturing into the void until a monster deity themselves recognize me as monsterkin true and noble. I wouldn't expect to see a monster deity anymore, but I wish you the best of strength in your endeavor. And let me know if you do find one, just in case. Thanks! Much appreciated! I most certainly will, my friend. Mystery loot box? Absolutely. Let me pick some equipment from that. Armor rare, start a turn, shield self for 3, initial shield 5. Ooh. Orb. Ether +1, health reduced by 3. Yeah, I would like more resources, please. I think I'll throw that on Reggie as well, because it also comes with 10% increased crit chance, rather. And Reggie does love to crit. Whoa! Hang on. Earth, fire. I think what I want to do here is maybe just pick up an earth attack? Should it be earth? Ignite's a 3x3 fire. It's going to be really important that I do much more poise damage in this run, just because the enemies have additional poise. So this thing is going to let me add a elemental affinity to one... Wait, hang on. Yeah, an elemental affinity to basic attacks of a monster. Disnamia has a 4-hit earth attack. Reggie has a 3-hit fire attack. So there's a little bit of a push towards making it a fire instead. I'm gonna go with earth. It's very early to be trying to plan in that way. Oh wow, they have enough for... I was about to say, they have enough for Explosive Rush on the top line this turn. Thankfully, we're not going to let them do that. All I have to do is Ignite, or honestly, even just Purge will do it. But I may as well stagger. Stone Punch for a huge amount of damage, or generate some resources. I think I need the resources right now. So Warden can also be a tank unit, right? So it'll start getting some redirects and stuff. Definitely time to Purge. Nice. That 10% crit chance can't... Oh no! Orthros attacking first meant that Cockatrice was healed by 5, so didn't die when they activated... No! The burn was supposed to kill you! It's fine, it didn't cost us that much more corruption at least. The enemy's just doing snow support, so they're healing their side this turn. Not really that relevant to us. You can generate a bunch of resources, but realistically, I think the best way is just to apply a burn to you so that I can remove 1 poise. And then that sets up... That's a lot of sidekick. Unfortunately, you don't have an ally who can attack at all, so it's not going to be relevant. But they did reset their poise, which was really annoying because I was about to stagger them. God, they're actually going to do a really serious amount of damage here, right? Yeah. So that's 10. We got 3 corruption from just that attack. Yeah, that's not good. Oh boy. Yep. I need to be doing a lot more poise damage, and I need to be doing it yesterday. Happily grab a monster's soul. Oh, I can get high ground here. Great. I have no water damage, so I'm not really going to be stunning Totzelworm. And Reggie and Disnamia can easily stun Wolpertinger. So I guess that means I do use the high ground advantage against Totzelworm here. I definitely think the play is drain your ability to use Earth. That's a poison attack you want to do initially as well. Yeah, okay. So we'll drain that off of you. And then I can even just use a basic attack from Sharuf Reggie here. getting us all the resources we need to cast all of the spells we need. Only need a single grapple to purge that top line, and I can stone punch the bottom line. Yeah, worth doing those two. Ignite on the top line. Hey, if it didn't crit at all, it was still going to apply enough burn to kill the enemy afterwards. And that's a grapple that the enemy's taken from me. I can't really steal the energy away from you to stop you from using that. I can stone punch if we happen to crit here 2 times, a thing that I'm pretty sure that Warden's not capable of at the moment with 0% crit chance. Ugh. Yeah, the corruption's really stacking up on Sharoof like that. I'd like a shield. I would like a shield of any kind. I mean, that helps. Reggie's worthiness level up there gets a defense +1 stat. Then also the level up individually. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I'm... oh boy. Oh, this is difficult. Safeguard. Corruption cleanse +2. So at the end of every battle, cleanse 2 corruption. At the end of your turn, if this monster has less than 8 shield, shield self equal to the difference. Like, most shield moves don't even do 8 right now. There's also a trait, Taunt. At the start of each combat, apply 2 redirect and shield self for 2x3. Every combat will have at least 2 hits the enemy does. Like, that's impactful. Poise purging as well. Whenever this monster purges or steals ether, break 1 poise of the same element on all enemies. Sure, it's okay, but sometimes all the enemies have different poise. So it doesn't break anymore. I don't know about this. I'm also a little disappointed by the taunt trait here because, sure, 2 redirects and shield self for 2x3, but then it's done. That's all it does for the whole fight. And after that first turn, we don't even have shielding. That said, who else is going to be my tank? I'm going to give you the taunt trait. Ooh, critical purging. On every 3 crits, purge 1 enemy ether. Enkindled ether is also here. On attack, consume up to 1 fire ether to deal a 5 damage hit and apply 3 burn to the target enemy. Mostly important because that burn would also then trigger a poise. Poise damage. For every 3 ether purged or stolen by this monster, apply power to self. I think that Reggie is actually a really good opportunity here through Scorched Earth, which is the trait I was just referencing. Whenever this monster applies burn to 1 or more burn stacks to an enemy, break 1 poise on them, it doesn't break a fire poise. It breaks any poise. So if I can just get Reggie giving out, 3 burn stacks to all enemies every turn, that's all of the all of the poise management I need. Critical purging on every 3 crits, purge 1 enemy ether. Yeah, but Reggie, can I rely on you to crit? Like, I've got a 10% crit chance on you at the moment. Oh, you also have a perk that gives you 25% crit chance by base, so it's not awful. But you still have to attack a lot of times before critical purge. And then finally, Disruptive Prime for every 3 ether purged or stolen by this monster, not by this team. Apply power to self. It's either going to be reroll here or critical purging. I'll take critical purging. It kind of fits into the line as well, because we've got Disneymere here more as now like a tank, and then Reggie would be more of a damage dealer, and Disneymere's Power Nexus, you getting that power is fine. It's not especially good, though. Talisman, common equipment. Oh, this is good, though. Whenever a buff is applied to this monster, 15% chance to apply another stack of the same buff. So that could give us additional redirect from the start of the fight. Hell, when Power Nexus goes off, it could give us additional power. Gotta go for the random NPC. Until my town is full, I will be going for the random NPC. We need a little bit of water coverage, ideally, and someone who can do some healing effect. Give me Domovoy. Oh, well, hello. Actually, Mandragora, you might be perfect. So Mandragora has the types Heal, Regeneration, and Weakness. And we'll also remember the Power Nexus on, I was about to say Warden, on Dysnomia, triggers for every 5 Ether Purged, stolen, or Weakness applied. And Mandragora has both Heal and Regeneration and the element Water. Absolutely. You come with us, buddy. Your name is Dialer. Whoop. Dialer. Excellent. Whoop. That's a Mandragora. Get him. We don't let those live. Weakness, the enemy target. Heal target ally for 3/7. Regen to all allies after that as well. Neat. We can ignite to stop the weakness and echo. Yeah, we can do both of those. Let's do it. Echo for purge as well as poise break at the same time. Gotta love it. Both of those are gonna get, well, one of them is gonna get redirected. One of them's just gonna hit by default the wrong target. I don't think they're gonna do enough damage. Yeah, Orthros's basic attack I think is just a 2x3. So I don't think they end up doing enough damage that I really need to care about weakening them this turn, so I'll just generate some resources. Yeah, just 2x3. Oh, I also didn't mention yet the signature trait of Dialer. Wholesome. Signature trait. At the start of combat, apply 1 regeneration to self. Whenever regeneration triggers on this monster, apply regeneration to every other ally, and then trigger regeneration on them. So if we just stack a bunch of regeneration on Dialer, we also do a ridiculous amount of healing and regen for the rest of the party. Definitely don't want to let Blossoming Strike come out. That's the Mandragora's attack on the enemy side at the moment. It's targeting our Mandragora as well. How dare you? Don't you know that's illegal? Those are not the actions of a hero. I definitely can't even let it get to its turn as well. Because it'll just regen before it hits. Okay, this time we're just gonna have to weaken the unit using Fire Fang. Cut 6 damage out of that attack there. Oh boy. Sidekick damage came in clutch for them. I don't think I necessarily need this healing, but it'll be a nice little bit of worthiness for Dialer. Let's get some refreshment. Pretty solid amount of damage there. Good healing thereafter. I gotta make sure you don't get to play the game. I can't have two of them on the board at the same time. They'll trigger each other's sidekicks. And look, if I can't shield, I will weaken you. Perfect. Sometimes I wish it was a little faster to close out fights when you are like already very far ahead in this game. No worthiness levels up, but a little bit of experience for everyone. Ocarina. On support action, heal the ally with the lowest health for 3, and crit chance plus 15%. I'll give that to Dyla, because they have a support action and use it very occasionally. Oh. This must be an elemental challenge. They say it's up to the gods themselves whether one can pass it unscathed. This is an Earth Elemental Challenge. Everyone in my party has Earth as an affinity. So that actually makes Reggie's basic attack, Earth Affinity upgrade, even better. On success, they have a 50% chance to succeed and may retry until they succeed. On success, they gain 1 EXP and 100 worthiness. On failure, 3 corruption. We'll give that to Dyla to try and bring them up. Perfect. Dyla's level 2 now. Cosmic healing. For every 50 healing on your allies, generate 1 wild ether. Interesting. Because there's a lot of healing that goes off if Mandragora just spams regeneration. So this would be generating energy from healing. That seems very good. Weakness only reduces damage. Sensitivity, sorry, next trait. Aura, weakness only reduces damage by 2. By default, it's 3. But each hit against enemies with weakness deals 2 more damage. Also, it turns it into a little bit of vulnerability as well. Cosmic Hex, whenever an enemy is staggered, consume all stacks of weakness on them and generate wild ether for each one. If I was already capable of giving weakness to enemies, yes, but I am already capable of healing. Do I stagger a Walpetinger or? I guess it's Cockatrice and then I just absolutely murder it. Hit it with Firefang immediately. I can't let it start attacking. It does so much explosive damage. Gonna weaken that wind kick as well because it's a lot of damage. Yeah, that would have been even more damage without that weakness. Oh boy. Would have been like 9 more damage. I'm gonna do whatever the hell I have to just to remove cockatrice. The rest of the fight will be so much more comfortable afterwards. Okay. Heal up Diz and Mia. Regen to everyone. Some additional healing for Sharuf. They stole one of my purge moves. Which I guess you're more than welcome to do. They're using a reset action next turn though, so it's not worth staggering them. Because they'll just reset their boys next turn anyway. Yeah, so now I can start staggering you. I say start, I mean finish. We have enough earth damage to do it. The enemy's only buffing themselves, so I don't really need to worry. They're just doing a refreshment right now. To no effect whatsoever. So slow play a bit. Start setting up the stagger, and now it's just highest damage move constantly, which is ignite and basic attack. Is basic attack and spore the same damage? No, spore's slightly more. 2x3 versus a 2x2. Two skill rerolls. That's huge. Gonna get to be much more selective with what we take now. I've come to notice some. There seem to be hidden places within these areas. Places only our monsters can sense. To other beings like us, they portray themselves as inaccessible terrain, hidden behind a barrier that mimics the surrounding landscape. I tried lifting the illusion, in vain. Our monsters somehow seem to be the key to revealing what's still behind, though I've yet to discern how. I can only advise to stay mindful of your surroundings as well. Thank you for telling me this. I'll keep an eye out for them. I think these are the areas that are opened by a monster soul, like the moving bookcases in the second biome. Shielding Dust. Shield all allies for 10, or Void Crystal. Generate Wild. Give me Shielding Dust. I haven't even gone to use that yet. Okay, just making sure that's complete. It is. Interesting. Let's head out to final enemy in the area and level up our first two. Walpetinger, Orthrus, or... I don't have a water attack yet. Walpetinger is really hard for me to stagger. Sorry, not Walper, that's Tutzelworm. Should I leave Tutzelworm until last then? My target prioritization is really poor right now. I'm not entirely certain who's the best to focus on a lot of the time. I can get quite close to a stagger just using a basic attack here, and it'll generate the resources I need. Thank you, Sharu. What with everyone having Earth as one of theirs. can stagger, and I can even echo for damage on the ooze while preventing Orthrus from using a special attack. Hell yeah, I didn't even need to trigger redirect. They both just independently decided to target our tank. Definitely time for a refreshment, though. I do think I need to use 2 purge moves this turn. Tutselworm's gonna be such an annoyance. Stop hitting my guy! Cool. Nope, that crit's not enough to get us there. Alright. One target off field, I feel very slightly safer, except for the fact that I got a whole lot of poison on me and the enemy's only doing more. Pop out an Aethermancer flask, and then this as well. Yay! 1 wild ether. I don't know, maybe I underestimated the value of some of the other stuff there. Yeah. Just gonna have to do damage the good old-fashioned way. Very little of it. Gotta keep him burning. Hey, and now everything is A-O, still bad because of the corruption. At least we know how to stagger this guy in a couple turns' time. I need some additional moves. I just need additional things that my guys can do. Guess it's a good time to start weakening you. Yeah. That'll save us the most damage. Ignite breaks the boys, and get him, Dialer! Okay, yeah, we have a lot of corruption in our creatures, and I'm quite scared. Dialer's regeneration healing has just been increased by 2. Is that regeneration for the entire party that gets increased by 2? Reflective Strike. 4x2 wind earth attack against target enemy applies redirect to self. There's also flash guard, just applying redirect to self. And a healing dust applies 4 weakness to the target enemy and heals all allies for 2x6. Let's actually look at this. Increases healing of regeneration on allies by 2. Okay, so while Dyla's in the party, everyone's getting 7 health at start round from regen. So I really need to find a way to get that regen up and consistent. Also, Dyla, yours is cosmic healing. For every 50 healing of your allies, generate 1 wild ether. So that means healing dust here applies 4 weakness to a target enemy and heals all allies for 2x6. It's not bad. The main downside is that realistically, I need some way to shield you, Disnamir, if you're going to be my tank, and I also need more ways to redirect to you. And none of this is any of that. Let's reroll. Thorns. Retaliate. Triggers a 2x4 earth-water damage attack against the enemy, and it's a free action. So yeah, definitely something I would want to use as a tank. Pheromone Trap applies 3 weakness to target enemy, and then triggers a Retaliate. Triggers a 2x6 earth damage against an enemy and applies 1 weakness to them. So you weaken an enemy, and you set up Retaliate. Unfortunately, it's not a free action, though. And Wind Heist. 3x3 wind damage against an enemy, and steal 2 ether. I want to take Pheromone Trap. Because with that weakness application, it'll cause Disnamir to scale pretty quickly as well. But I'm also going to need to find a way for Disnamir to consistently have redirects and some sort of shielding as well. Not sure where I'm finding those. Burn Wave. 3x5 fire damage to all enemies. And apply 3 burn to all enemies, which then also poise breaks all enemies. Pretty good. Quite expensive. Burn Conversion consumes 2 burn among enemies as an additional cost. I usually don't need the burn on my enemies to trigger. I just want to give it to them. So this seems good. Generates a fire ether. And it's a free action. Of course, it costs a fire in the first place, so it gives you 2 fire back. I think I take that. There's also Gemstone Crash. 3 wind earth damage against the target enemy. Deal a 5 damage hit to self and purge 2 enemy ether. I really don't want to be hitting myself. Give me burn conversion for resource management, I think. Got another skill reroll. Great. Ether Spring. I'm always going to go for the permanent bonus, please. Is there a better replacement for one of my party? Sorathil or Nosferatu? I think not. Fire. Equipment from random loot drops has a 35% chance to be of a higher tier until run's end. Sick. This isn't... Oh, okay. I was about to say, this isn't empty, is it? Like the boss arena. Another elemental challenge. This one can only be taken by Disnamir because it's for a wind challenge. Thank you for succeeding that second time. Gaining an EXP for your work. Oh, Wormling. Did I pick up any water attacks? I don't think I did. Pheromone Trap is a water attack in response. That could count. All right. I'm going to leap at Wormling. I would really like to be able to get a memento of you. Hey, the talisman caused an additional stack of redirect to be added there. Useful. Definitely not letting that big poison wave of damage come through immediately. Sounds like a bad idea. I'd like to generate one more Earth Ether, though. So that I can cast Pheromone Trap. Oh, that's really annoying. I don't think I can do that this turn. I can remove that burn incantation from the enemy. Go for a 2x3. Just generate a bunch of additional resources right now. Which realistically, it seems like a good idea. Except for the 4 poison that it throws on me. There's that fire ritual. Unfortunately, I've used most of my redirects, so Pheromone Trap is now much weaker. Yeah, that's the problem. Pheromone Trap is really good for us to use on turn 1 precisely. Which actually also makes it really, really hard to... Oh, God. And you're going to get to attack as well. This is bad. This is not good. I might have to shield everyone for 10 this turn. Get some healing set up for the party. It's gonna be necessary. God, not being able to stagger people so easily does so much difference. And I really, really can't just keep giving them... Hitting the ooze is just causing it to give a bunch of poison to my party. Which I'd love not to be doing. So much damage, and the cockatrice is only getting more powerful. Yep. This turn is kind of similarly screwed to the previous turn. I can consume burn among enemies, generate additional fire ether. I'll take that. I don't have redirect. I can't even stagger the wormling. Oh my god. How obviously does something become a loss if the run length of a 3-hour run becomes 40 minutes? I gotta figure something out with the run length of these episodes. Might have to split it down by individual biome, to be honest. It's gonna reset this turn. I can't do anything about that. This grapple staggers 1 and then prevents that action, which is nice. Set up retaliate for enemies that aren't going to be hitting me. This is bad, folks. I didn't know you could do that. Oh, so that would have been just... Oh! Intriguing. Yeah, that's consume all fire ether. That said, it consumed a lot of fire ether, so without being able to stagger you, I don't think I could have prevented you from doing that. Also worth noting at this point, I don't think I can stop you killing my party. This message now directed to the cockatrice. I felt like everything was going swimmingly, but the type coverage lack for water damage. Like, Mandragora had water typing, which is something I was celebrating at the time, but lacking being able to actually do water damage. And also the enemies having increased poise. I think, like, one burn skill, like, one... Like, Sharuf having the fire wave in this fight would have been really good, just because it would have been a poise break against all enemies, and also would have constantly taken care of Cockatrice. Yeah, we're going to be losing this fight. I already kind of forgave that was going to be the case. Well, it's about time I lose a fight. I'll be honest, if I stepped up to Mythic and it was an absolute cakewalk, I'd be a little disappointed. I gotta make sure my ability to stagger based on type coverage is more robust. And I think I've got to make sure my early choices are a little more synergistic, because none of my actions are really causing anything other than the base action to occur at the moment, and that just isn't efficient enough for this round. For this difficulty level, rather. I'm sorry, Dyla. We commit you back to the Earth, from whence we found you. I can't believe it. 119 ether crystals for me, but I died. How much do I have left over? Oh no, he said stuff. My great-grandfather and my great-grandmother built this tavern here with their own hands. They were here when Pilgrim's Rest came when it was today. They saw the fractured ruins, a place teeming with all sorts of monsters, and turned it into something hospitable. A home. I'm not about to spit on their legacy. Anyway, let's calm down and see if we can make some sort of deal, huh? With 100, I could get a merchant discount. Merchants offer an additional discount or an additional random item for sale. Oh, you know what it should be? You told me you came across Pilgrim's Rest by happenstance. What are you doing in that area?
Some other monster kin wanted to see the holy city. They wanted somebody along who could mix healing potions, so, of course, they asked me. I was bored, so I agreed to go. Without payment, of course. I just wanted to see the holy city. And so I saw the Holy City, as well as Pilgrim's Rest. The perfect place of rest for a weary pilgrim such as I. Once we got this void business under control, can you do me a favor, Sirix? When you're traveling against Teresti again, if you meet any monsterkin, please do tell them about Pilgrim's Rest. I will. Let's establish the soulbound. Oh, I caught Nosferatu and Shambler from the second section as well. Yeah, let's soulbind those so that I can start the next run with a new creature again. Also, I do think I'm gonna split episodes down into biomes. But I think I'm gonna complete the first biome in this video, so 50 minutes in, let's do the second run. Let's start with Ooze, Shambler, Nosferatu. Let's start with Shambler. Well, actually, that is one thing. Since we're in the higher difficulty, am I supposed to use the creatures that I already have worthiness on because they get additional perks for that worthiness? Which, those additional perks are super relevant. I'm not gonna do that. Let's take the Shambler as our starter. Trait, Breach the Void. This creature can copy its last action and use it once, with its cost replaced by Wild Ether as a free action. Its element becomes wild, so it'll do poison damage against all enemies. That's pretty important. Also perk, Wild Conversion +1, which means the first ether you generate each turn is going to be wild instead of whatever it otherwise would have been. Give Shambler a nickname. Absolutely. Welcome to the party, Zoe. So your coverage is tank, ether, age, and you... Okay, that's a brace. Shield cell for 2x4 and trigger a retaliate of 1 attack for 4 wind damage against the enemy. Drift punch 2x5 water damage against the target enemy applies redirect to self. Got it. So you already have redirect as a tank, but you don't have a wind attack. Hello again, Reggie. Dialer, earth and water. I mean, some healing is definitely going to be important in a world where I'm using shit. Gambler, one imagines. Nosferatu. Water and wind, which is the same coverage as the Shambler, unfortunately. Which would make Reggie a good way to fill out the part. You know what? I'm taking Reggie again. Because again, we've got a tank, we need a damage dealer. Again, if Reggie is capable of just getting a burn effect on, something that just easily helps me apply burn to all enemies, that's just going to be a lot of our poise control.
Imagine my shock, Syriax, when I first arrived here and found the entire fractured ruins lost inside the void. Not only that, but the void also threatens all the good people of Pilgrim's Rest, and maybe even Terrastay itself. I'm not sure, but I know that I'll put a stop to it.
Are you sure? It's quite dangerous to be inside the void. Even though you're much more resistant to ether poisoning than humans, the void still dismantles your body the longer you stand in it, especially the deeper you go. It's best to support from outside, or at most from the void's outer radius.
Nonsense! Us monsterkin are tougher than you might think, especially me. I don't fear the void should fear me! My sense of heroism doesn't allow me to sit by idly. Also, I don't want to miss out on an opportunity to see the fractured ruins, as well as the monster deities.
Let's take some equipment, buddy. Ooh. Banner. Is this good? All allies get 7 crit chance, 7 evasion, and Wild Conversion converts the first ether generated by this monster each turn into Wild Ether. That'd be good if I was generating 2 ether. There's also belt. On interrupt, 75% chance to apply power to self. Initial weakness. At start of combat, applies 2 weakness to a random enemy, and evasion, 15% chance to evade. I mean, it seems like I could easily just throw that belt on Sharut. Because we'll be doing, hopefully, a lot of interruption with you. You've got good type coverage for interruption as well. Actually, yeah. I think I can interrupt Tutzelworm on the first turn. Oh no, I need 1 more burn to do it. I guess I'll just have to set up for it next turn then. Sure, you can apply some poison to one of my characters, whatever. Whoa! I never said anything about poison to both of my characters, you know? Back off, Tutzel. Drift Punch for 1 billion trillion damage points. Top line, that's the Aqua Kick, don't have to worry about that. Aqua Pounce, sorry. Oh, I do have a redirect active. Okay, sure, I'll brace. Sick. I thought I was going to plumb out of luck there. The retaliates even wind damage, so we get some poise off the enemy, but then they immediately reset, so the poise is back up to 5. We're just going to have to damage you through. I can use Brace as a free action this turn. Well, that seems fun. Because the enemy is going to be attacking top line. Can I have 2 retaliate attacks trigger at the same time? I'm going to Brace again. So specifically, that would be 2 retaliate attacks of the same origin triggering at the same time. Retaliate 1. Retaliate 2. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's good. And just finish the fight up with the Drift Punch. Monster Soul and a wee bit of money. Ooh, I am almost tempted to sack a Monster Soul for some bonus help in fights. At the end of your turn, apply 1 temporary power to self. I'll take that, despite the fact that I'm happy to replace it later. Better than not having it at the moment, but very barely. Yeah, I'm really bad at staggering Orthrus, so I'm just going to kill Wolvertinger as soon as I can. Can't trigger Sidekick if there's only one here. I'd be using my wild energy to use that attack that turn, so I think it's better off just not. Drip Punch is doing wild damage. Which makes it very versatile there. nice. I can also use it as the setup for Brace, so the enemy does no damage and I get them back. Yeah, okay, actually having some shields when I also have a tank seems important. Otherwise, I just end up taking a bunch of corruption and I start fights at half health very, very early on. Perhaps too early on. Also, that Brace does a lot of damage. Especially against voice broken enemies. Okay. Oh! Ether Cycle. Aura, every 7 ether consumed by allies generate a wild ether. That could be fine. Ether Shield. Whenever this monster consumes or generates ether, shield equal to the amount of consumed or generated ether. Also, yeah. Return to ether. Retaliate. Generate a random ether. I think that's exactly what I want. I think if I'm getting like 2 additional ether a turn from using a tank effectively, that's going to be so useful for us. Critical ether on every 3 crits, generate wild ether. I mean, generating wild ether is definitely good for this run. Not very reliable though. Burning Mark. Allies gain 5% crit chance against enemies for every stack of burn on them. Good if I already have burn. Rapid Fire. Whenever an enemy gets attacked for the second time in the turn, triggers burn on them. It doesn't place burn, it triggers burn. None of these are what I want. I'm gonna reroll here. This is unfortunate. On crit, deal a 3 damage wild hit. Allies get 15% crit chance, or Sleight of Hand. Plus 3 crit damage if it's the third hit of a crit. The third hit of every crit action is a critical hit. The third hit of every action is a critical hit. For multi-target actions, every second hit against each monster instead. I'll take that. Begrudgingly, Scepter. Oh, okay, yeah, that's just slightly better than the Scepter we got previously. It's got a modifier for 20% chance to give us a power whenever we do an action. Give me an NPC, please. Also, hang on, what's our type courage? Water, wind, earth, fire, but we're not actually good at doing wind individual hits to anyone. I mean, there's Disneymere again. So what? It's the same party as before, but without healing this time? Do I really think healing was the problem with the previous part? Well, actually, kind of. So Disneymere, you would come in with Power Nexus, which is pretty good. Echo, which is also really good for that wind damage thing that I was talking about. You're a second tank unit, but I don't have to run you in the tank line if I'm running Shambler in the tank line instead. There's also Nick Starfield here, also a very, very powerful tank. You're good at applying burn to everyone, but the problem is I need Sharoof, I need Reggie to be the target that applies burn. And Nosferatu, who I still haven't taken in the party, who does provide healing and also provides dodge and terror. Also does have a shriek attack. The healing is provided by a vampirism. Aura, terror on enemies, deals 2 more damage and heals the attacker for 33% of the damage of the hit rounded up. So hitting enemies is a good way to heal here, which is also... You know what? Yeah, I think it's got to be Nosferatu, actually. I really wanted to be able to justify Disneymere here, but Nosferatu also has a wind attack, so I think our coverage is complete with you. And if that ain't a Matthew, I don't know what is. Ooh, Lily. Lily! Return to Ether is good. Sleight of Hand could be rerolls. Reroll Sleight of Hand, please. You know how I came across Pilgrim's Rest? Now, I get to ask you a question. How did you come across Pilgrim's Rest 100 years ago? Don't you Aethermancers mainly stick to Aquelius? left the Order, actually. I haven't been to Aquelius in quite a while. That's fascinating! I didn't even know there were Aethermancers that weren't part of Aquelius. Not many. Some call me the heretical Aethermancer. Please don't tell Alioth about that. Your secret's safe with me. Absolutely re-rolling a trait of Reggie. Re-rolling sleight of hand. Shock. On interrupt, deal a 6 fire/wind damage hit to that enemy. Honestly, probably better. Because if we're going to be running a purge line on Reggie, they are going to be disrupting enemies consistently, not just by staggering them, but also by purging them out of the ability to use their attack. Oh, this isn't the boss yet? Of course it's not. My coverage is good enough that I should be able to stun anyone. I should probably take care of anyone that has multi-target attacks first, though. So let's get rid of Totzel. So Aqua Pounce would do that, but Drift Punch would do that while applying a redirect. Oh, hell yeah. It also staggers the only enemy not hitting the top line already this turn. Oh, I can't purge off that attack, though. Weakness would be really nice. Actually, I just doomed my top line to take a lot of damage. Oops. Can't generate the right ether to change anything about that either. That's weakness on the top line, so I don't even need to stop your damage. I'm just going to generate additional ether for the rest of the fight here. Yeah, that was always going to be the worst part. Fire Fang for 2 by 6 damage to the top line. Oh, and then the immediate sidekick as well. That said, that's a lot of retaliation right there. We now have so much energy. Truly too much energy. Definitely got to start bracing. Keep that course steady, buddy. Oh boy. It's so much damage, Orthrus. I can set up Terra on an enemy and then immediately take that enemy out. Quite obviously still got a brace for impact, though. That's enough to kill the top line without having to use the additional redirect, which is fine, because I've got the redirect. And then I can throw Burn on you, just start staggering as well, Orthrus. Alright. Yeah, it's still 6 damage that goes straight past our shielding. Thankfully, the enemy is doing a defensive move this turn, so we can just go bark wild on him. Nice try, Mandragora. I've seen your type before.
I can stagger someone very easily right now. But I can only really stop one person. If I interrupt your ability... You're attacking top line. I don't want to interrupt your ability. Anyone attacking top line is just fine by me. I was thinking of avoiding it, but I will take out Mandragora first. You keep people extremely healthy, and I don't think you should be doing all that. Oh, I don't even have the way to generate the additional fire. That said, I still have your stagger, so I can just take it down to only cockatrice on the fields. It does start to feel pretty safe again.
Ooh, not if I'm redirecting though.
I forgot about that. Okay. Just happens to be enough fire damage to get over the stagger limit, but if it wasn't, Drift Punch would have come through and done it. Okay, yeah, I definitely need some health support. Blind. Aura. Enemies with terror have a 15% chance to miss each hit. Whenever an enemy misses a hit, apply terror to them. Interesting. Evasion Mastery. Crit chance on allies also increases their evasion by 50% of that amount. I do see a world where that would be incredible. I would really, really want to have another... Well... Sharoof can increase crit chance, but I've also been avoiding that so far. There's also Cosmic Horror at the very bottom. Terror application +1 at the start of your turn generates Wild Ether for every enemy with 5 or more terror. I do think relating terror and Wild Ether is going to be really useful because the terror is also healing. So I need a move that's like really good at giving terror to all enemies. Especially because when you hit an enemy with terror, they take a wild damage hit from the terror, which means it's also good for staggering. Speaking of staggering... I gotta kill that ooze last. I've been focusing the oozes first, but I think that's not possible anymore. Specifically, because they've got the additional health, right? So they're in the fight for longer, but they've also got poison glands as their trait. So on Retaliate, they just give us 4 poison. So if I do that at the start of the fight, they end up just, by the end of the fight, having done 50 damage to everyone. Grapple, really important. I'm gonna grapple you and interrupt you, and then Aqua Pounce staggers the bottom line. No one's even attacking the top line at the moment, so should just be resource generation. Definitely want to ignite Cockatrice this turn. It's a huge amount of damage. And I can take a redirect on the top line. Definitely can't take Tutzelworm doing a laser lava against everyone, though. That would be bad. Oof. It's a lot of poison. Okay. Start out with a Drift Punch, follow up with the Grapple, and that will stagger you. I also like that when we stagger with Sharoo, that causes an interrupt, and that interrupt causes a hit. But the enemy's been staggered, so they take 50% additional damage to the hit. So instead of 6 fire wind damage, it's 9. And also, that's then increased as well by Sharoo's temporary power and stuff like that. This level up is huge. It's really important that this is good for us. Retaliate. It's a decent tank action. It asks for resources I don't have a lot of, though. I can apply a redirect to self for fire and earth, which seems pretty good. Explosive rush. No, you're not my damage unit. What you need is access to more redirect and being able to do that for free. I do think that seems good. The only problem is your Breach the Void gives you additional free actions. So a lot of the time, I'm going to want to use those as the free action instead, which devalues these free actions. I'm going to take Flash Guard and I'll use it on turns where I need the redirect. Lava Fling. Lava Fling. It's exactly what I was looking for. Lava Fling. Purchase 2 enemy ether. On interrupt, which it can interrupt multiple enemies at the same time, and often does, apply 3 burn to all enemies. That 3 burn to all enemies then causes poise damage, and also the interrupts in the first place cause a fire wind hit, could also be poise damage, and then they cause burn, which causes more poise damage, which could cause interrupt and cause more hits. Thank heck. It's exactly the kind of thing that we needed. I don't know if I only said it in my head or if I said it out loud, but that level up and getting the right skills on that level up was absolutely crucial. And I'm not going to say we necessarily got the right skills on Shambler, but we did on Reggie. It's fine, Zoe. We can reroll your skill later. Or maybe I just get additional energy and I can use it. Next, Starfield, Cold Heart. I'm gonna take water from this one. Cleanse corruption from fellow monsters. We can see why Zoe is very corrupt right now, and it's not okay. Wormlings. Not especially easy for me to stagger, but very dangerous. Let's have a look at Wormling, because I actually don't think I've brought their stats up yet. Wormling has Gift of the Worm. On support action, they apply temporary power to themselves. On their attacks, though, they transfer all of their power and temporary power to each other ally. So having 2 of these on the field is pretty terrifying.
Power generator for every 3 power applied to allies, generate 1 random ether as well. Well, rude. So Lava Fling is already threatening to disable a maneuver here. Very good, very good. That's pretty good. Also, let's Aqua Pounce, and here's our opportunity. Craft a memento about that one. I suppose you'll have to be the first to die as well, then. Oh, yeah, perfect. Another Lava Fling interrupts 2 enemy actions, giving 3 burn to everyone. Twice, even, which is 2 poise reduction from everyone. Okay, yeah, this is how it's supposed to be. Us just absolutely dominating the battlefield. That's what I was looking for last run. I don't know what to do when I don't have access to Lava Fling. How do I even play the game? Okay, you can do a kill by default attack there. Yeah, just one target on the field. Love to be able to apply weakness. That seems like it'd be useful. Kill him. That went well. All right, Matthew. Oh, you've still got another fight until you level up? Soul Lantern. I will give additional health to our full tank, because I feel like that's definitely going to end up being relevant. Zoe. Have 5 more max health. The Earth Elemental Challenge. 1 XP and 100 worthiness. Let's give this to Matthew, who immediately succeeds. Hell yeah. This is just so that I get the worthiness on everyone up to a similar amount, as also the level. Matthew levels up. Apply 7 terror to target enemy and purge 1 enemy ether. Hang on. Well, there's also Hailstorm. 2x3 water wind against all enemies, and apply 3 terror to all enemies. The only problem with that being that we benefit from starting a turn with enemies that have 5 or more terror on them. And I would be applying 3. Plus 1 from Cosmic Horror. Bone Chill would be good. It purges an enemy ether, as well as applying 7 terror to a target enemy. I'm going to take Hailstorm. It is a bit... That's a bit speculative based on, like, can I get any other terror application action? or something that just increases the amount of terror that we apply. Like, is it possible that the next level of worthiness for this character is just apply more terror? Or even just debuffs in general? Because it is a debuff minion. It is a terror minion. I've seen things like that. Okay, I can stunt one of you. Oh, that's worse. Wait. Streak shows us 4 by default. Was it originally 3? Like, will this give 5 to the target because it applies the aura afterwards? Or is it accounting for the aura in this? I don't know. I'm gonna check that at some point, but I don't think it can be right now. I think I need to redirect, possibly even twice if I can. Yeah, so here I'm gonna flash guard. Do I redirect for the second time or brace? I think I gotta brace. I gotta have some shielding. And then Sharoof, you can stop one of the special actions. Stopping the... That Aqua Pounce, that's not the... Yeah, that's not the one that gives you sidekick. So I think I'm supposed to purge the fire attack. Because that'll be Ignite. Thank you, Muchly, for running into my fist. Okay, we can set up Brace on top line. Unfortunately, that's our free action if I do that. Or I can Flash Guard defend, which is probably the right move. The Lava Fling to interrupt 2 targets. 2 targets! I can't target left or right when I'm already targeting all enemies. I'm also going to heal, because I am worried about you, buddy. We're going to have Sidekick attack comes out this turn as well. Five Fang sets up Sidekick. Copy your retaliation, and then basic attack, sets up another sidekick, retaliate against the first one. Oh boy. I hope Lava Purge manages to do amazing work this turn, like... Yeah, okay, that's what I was looking for. Lava Fling is now ruining lives.
staggers 2 enemies, as well as interrupts them. Bunch of damage. Let's give terror to the entire enemy field. I desperately hope this is 3 and then it increases to 4. Nope. Oh boy, much worse. Well, at least it sets up some healing. Follow up with a hailstorm. Oh, it's going to be really difficult to get enemies above 5 terror. I was really hoping that was just going to be an easy, immediate across the plate kind of thing. Zoe got defense +1, takes 1 less damage from all hits, pretty good. Matthew got evasion 15%, not what I was hoping. I wanted debuff stuff. Take a blank memento and some additional coins. Trundle on out this area though. A equivalent exchange. You can have gold and I will have crystals. Because then those crystals give me additional gold in future runs. There's a merchant at the end of each zone, so I don't really feel prioritized. Which... Shocker's doing okay. Cosmic Horror, admittedly, is probably not doing okay right now, but I do want it to do better in the future. I could reroll one of your attacks, which, like, realistically, for coverage's sake, I don't want to reroll any of your attacks. I could get rid of I could get rid of Ignite on Reggie. No, that actually seems pretty important for type coverage as well. I don't know if I want the Witch for anything. Give me a loot drop rare, please. I don't think I've ever gone to a loot drop rare ever. Oh, there we go. It's just a blank memento. Okay, well, I feel justified in having never done this before. I decide now to never do it again. Score some additional gold from around the area and then jump them. You got 70% more health in this mode than you usually have by default, so... Definitely worth setting up a brace and redirect here. I do want to keep atop the enemy's ether generation, but I think using a basic attack is probably what I want to do first, just so that I have the resources next turn to Lava Fling with my best purge move. Nice try. You tried to basic attack my minions, and all you did is generate ether for me. And yourself, admittedly, but for me too. Yeah, unfortunately I can only prevent one of those without Ether Purge at the moment. Start with the Lava Fling. I'm honestly fine with the enemy going all out here. I just got a Flash Guard and Brace. And then set up some terror on the enemy, so that when I retaliate to them, I get to heal.
Also, that Retaliate staggered you, preventing your second attack from even triggering. Sick. Got to keep the Purge party going. I've still got a redirect available on the top line. That's cool. Brace for a free action then. I'm just going to hit you with a straight up attack. I've already got my Retaliate. I've already got my redirects. It's a great opportunity to just heal off of you and then set up some more terror for the next turn. Hold up. What happened to my redirect? Yeah? Why were you capable of getting out from that? Did you, like, have a way to purge a stack of something from me? His weakness, target enemy. Purges enemy ether. Mixing strikes. Weakness, purge enemy ether. No, I don't think you should have been able to do that. Lava Fling. Interrupts twice. We get to trigger the interrupt hit twice. We get to trigger burn against the enemy twice, which is 2 more poison. 2 more poise, rather. I mean, I could let Sharuf take a hit this turn and just generate a bunch of... I could, but I also have absolutely no need to. Especially because I can generate even more ether if I just block. Enemies doing Volcanic Guard against themselves, and then they have a lot of ether, so they're going to be able to get that other action through, which is Pollen Blast. 4/9 earth damage against the target enemy, as well as Blind Weakness, so I definitely need to redirect that, and I definitely need to have good healing, so... Let's throw a Monster Flask out. Let's get... Can the enemy retaliate to my retaliate? No, they can't. I'll brace. And I mean, one of the best things I can probably do before your next turn is stagger you. Which, hold up, we actually do have the ability to do. Okay. Aqua Pounce does enough hits to set up for grapple to trigger stagger. Does a huge amount of damage as well. That's the Pollen Blast that, yeah, absolutely would have destroyed Matthew on the bottom line there. Good thing we had someone to interrupt. Unfortunately, that unit has lost a lot of HP. Now, this is what I want to see. Lava Fling. An attack that does no damage. It just purges. It's actually a dedicated support action. It purges 2 enemy ether. However, it kills the enemy here. That's what we're aiming for. Oh, huge levels up. Zoe! Taunt. At start of combat, apply 2 redirect and shield cell for 2/3. Yeah, I really do want that. I'm never gonna be sad to just have that 2 redirect by start. There's also Protector, as long as this monster has redirect. Allies gain +1 defense and +1 shielding.
not especially important unless I'm using someone else to shield Zoe. Cosmic Wisdom. Gain Aging for every 2 age. Aging is a stack that you just have at the start of the fight. It increases by 1 every turn. You can also use other things to increase it, though. For every 2 age, generate Wild Ether. It sounds very good to me, but is what I really need that? No, what I really need is more tank. Interesting. Sleight of hand. Welcome back. Poise Purging, though. Whenever this monster poises or steals ether, break 1 poise of the same element on all enemies. I'm gonna do that. I think that's really gonna help make Lava Fling go even nuttier. We also got an Aethermancer Whip artifact. Neat. It's an artifact that does 2x2 hit to an enemy as well as purges 1 ether. Let's go to the rest zone.
The stench of void is on you. It comes from your monster. Shambler, one of the living manifestations of the void. It represents the void's potential to change, disruptive, and unpredictable. Who knows? It might even change you, Sirix. Care to buy anything?
Oh, another belt. On interrupt, 75% chance to apply powder self, evasion and burn hit. Evasion and burn hit. We lose the initial weakness, but that burn hit, 10% chance to just burn an enemy when I hit them, that is more stagger for Reggie. Oh, Rod of Command is very powerful though. And I'm finding myself consistently without actions. How many monster souls am I holding on to as well? 3? Okay, give me that. Give me the rod and then just give me 1 bonus experience. Also, there's a armor that only costs 3. Which I will buy. Actually, if I scrap this, I think I get exactly 3 back as well. But I will give it to Matthew. We'll consume our monster meal, cleansing 20 corruption from all monsters. Zoe has 36, so doesn't really touch the sides there. And your monsters gain +5 max health. That'll put us in a much better position to be heading into the next area at the top of the next episode. Until then, though, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Aethermancer. That has been the first zone done twice. The second time successfully in Mythic. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves. A special thanks this episode to Dyla, and hopefully we'll see you all next time.